Hello, Taurus. Thank you for tuning in. This is the love portion. My crazy hair. This is the love portion of the readings. For the tarot part, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot by Paul Foster Case and Arthur Edward Waite. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm using the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. There we go. I use the oracle cards as needed. And the first half is for relationships, the second half is for singles. So let's get right into it here. Okay. Okay. So where we're starting with the whole thing is there's a lot of love here. I feel like this relationship, if this is hitting with you, there's a lot of history, a lot of love. It's at the bottom of the deck, makes me feel like there's a lot built up on this. So this is feels like it's a very deep relationship. It's been going for a while. It's either been going for a long while or it's very heartfelt, very tight knit between you and your partner. Okay. That being said, what is going on? I've got you holding burdens but still moving forward. I feel like you're taking a lot of action. Things that you've been doing and continue to do, but there's a lot going. You have a lot going on. You have a lot continuing, a lot going on. A lot of movement for you. But everything is on schedule. Yes. So it's nothing like out of the blue. These are things you said you were going to do. You're making them happen, you're continuing on. But you're feeling like maybe you're doing them on your own more than, you feel like you're pulling the cart on your own. Okay. This is what's holding you back, by the way. The other side is feeling a little heartbroken, and they're not happy about exactly what's going on here. They're not happy with the direction. And they thought things were going to turn out differently. They thought things were heading in a different direction. Either there was a miscommunication or they thought that they could change things last minute, something like that. And it just didn't kind of hit that way. This is what's holding them back, but I feel like where they're standing and what's holding them back is the same, in the sense of I feel like there's a lot of complaining. Okay. So I feel like that's kind of, that's not stopping it. Okay. Continuing on. Yes. Okay, so I feel like their communication might change. They might end up a little more on board later. This relationship, you're very dedicated to the relationship, but I feel like this is a very, very much one of those situations where we've been talking about this for a while. I said I was going to, well, wait a minute, what's coming through here? You were heading in this direction, but maybe you weren't pushing forward as hard about what was actually going to happen. You just kind of were, you let it be known though, but you didn't beat a dead horse. So this shouldn't be a surprise in your opinion. Maybe they didn't realize exactly what was going to happen. I'm getting this on your side, you're very dedicated to this, but you're bringing them with you. They're coming, whatever the situation is, they're a part of it, and you're bringing them with you. They just feel like there's nothing they can do about it, and for some reason, they didn't either realize or expect it to happen this way. This just seems a little odd to me. Because I feel like you're burdened about it. You are moving forward like you said you would. I feel like there's a lot of complaining on the other side. They're going along with it. But why is it? I don't understand why they see it they changed direction last moment. So something for them changed, or they wanted to do something different, but you're dedicated to the same path and you're sticking to it and you're pulling them along with it, which is kind of having like this complaining moment on their side. Okay. I feel like this goes on for a while with the complaining until you finally snap back. And you decide to. I feel like the whole when you snap back, you're like we decided this together. You bring up past influences and why this is going the way it is right now, and I feel like you snap back, like you really get annoyed, and it goes on for a little while. Like you're mad because you're sick of hearing it. And I feel that calms the situation a lot. Oddly enough. I feel like the other person kind of like. I don't feel like it's like a rip down of somebody. I feel like you're like using fact and proof of why the situation is where it is right now. And I don't feel like it's not like a blaming thing. It's kind of like this is how we went. This is how it's been planned. I mean, I didn't. It's not like this is a surprise. Not like I pulled something out of the blue. Even though you changed your mind, I didn't. And that's why we are where we are right now. And this isn't fair that you get so upset because we didn't just change direction last minute. You know I don't do that. And this, I feel like you're mad and you say what you, but I feel like you appeal to their emotional side, like, you know what, I'm dependable, that's who I am, that's who you married, possibly if you're married, that's who you got in this relationship with, and you knew that's who you fell in love with. And I feel like you're making a point here, and they're getting it, and it calms down. The queen and the knight are very angry in this spread. They're not always, I'm just going to say that. But the king is calmer, and I feel like once you say your piece, like that, they rise above, and they kind of like, you know what, you appeal to their emotional side, and they're like, yeah, and then they kind of like, I feel like the communication cools down. I just want to say also, I don't always read these cards that way. This is just how they're coming out in this situation. I feel like they calm down a lot, and they might stop complaining. Let's put it that way. It takes you a little while to let that go, but you do. I feel like that's what we're saying, because this is like a little bit removed from you. You're like letting the situation cool down. You're moving on from it, and then everything's right with the world again. After you say your piece, after you have a little freak out there, which is kind of warranted because you're just kind of sick of hearing it go on and on and on and on. But it takes you a little while to let it go. This card, the Eight of Cups, and where I'm seeing it for you, it's below you, below your situation. I feel like this is the actual just letting it be, moving on from it. Whatever the situation is, you move on from it, and everything's right with the world again. So I'm not sure what the situation is where you're doing what you said you were going to do, but I feel like you do it. It's done. You let them know how you feel about their complaining, and they kind of they relent a bit. And then after it's moved on, you've moved on from the situation, everything's back to normal. Like, I feel like it's a good relationship and everything's back to where it was. So I feel like this is a little bump. The whole point of this, I feel, is that you're going to get really aggravated with the complaining. It may be better to talk more sooner rather than later. Although, I mean, it's up to you how you communicate. But I do feel like if you let it go for too long, you're going to blow up and just rips. I don't feel like you're going to rip somebody down, but you're going to get really vocal and right to the point, and you're going to use fact and history to show where things are and that it's not fair that the other person is complaining this much, and you're going to make your point quite poignantly. So I guess the point is like better to choose when it's best for you to say something, either in the beginning before you get really aggravated, or if you prefer, it'll come out later when you are aggravated, and it'll come quite pointed and direct. A lot of fact, a lot of history. Like, I feel like you're like verbally beating somebody with a book, not physically, just like you're giving it to them, and they're just like, oh, Well, yeah. Like I just feel like they can't even rebuttal it, and it goes on like it's a tirade, like brr, like you've had it. Okay, so I think that's all we have for the relationship. Okay, so that's good. Let's go on to Taurus singles. Let's see if I can. It's a good relationship, and it's gonna go back to that. I think it's just this moment that it's just not to your liking. But you know, it goes back to where it's supposed to. So I feel that's good. All right, so Taurus singles. Yes. Okay. No? Okay, we won't touch those. Alright, so when this is coming in, you got the devil for where you're standing. Is this desire? I'm getting a maybe. Your thoughts are with the Knight of Swords. Alright, so where are you standing in this situation? Because those two cards together, the way that they're seeming to me, it doesn't really feel that good. But the only thing else that doesn't feel good here is the overall situation, which is the Ten of Swords with the Two of Rods behind it. Oh, and there's something else behind that. Judgment. I am getting with the Judgment, it depends on what you do, whether it's going to be in your favor or against you. So that might be good to be aware of for this situation. Something happened, a past love, didn't end well. Some past relationship did not end well. And I almost feel like there's a get even opportunity coming up. So I feel like this is what's kind of holding you at this point. There's a situation, I feel like there's a relationship that did not end well. Somebody might have cheated on you or did something against you that you still kind of hold a grudge for. And the opportunity is coming around for you to get some type of revenge, retribution, if you will. You're feeling like, you know, that person has just desserts coming and you want to see it get paid out. And you're considering whether you want to be a part of the situation or not. I feel like it goes in a few different directions. Now, if this is hitting for you, this is somebody in the past who really, really like hurt you, and you are like, you're kind of maybe not realizing how much that affected you, or that it's still there until the opportunity comes towards you, and you're like, oh, I could get even right now. I feel like the way you would get even though is through like a communicating situation. I don't think you'd participate in something, but you would communicate what's happening. That type of like. I'm feeling like some of you might get a little bit more involved, but there's another. That's where I think the judgment could go against you in a sense. Alright. I am also getting whatever's going on with this other person, it's going to come out either way. You don't have to be involved with it. And you might want to just, I don't know, think carefully about what you want to do about the situation. Because I feel like you were done wrong by this person and you're seeing an opportunity to get even. Alright, we'll go to the environment. I'm getting for a lot of you, there's a business connection to this. And this person could end up losing their job over this. Granted, it's a general read. I'm feeling like at the very least, this isn't going to affect them socially. Like, this is going to be a problem. Like, you could really create an upset for them. And I feel like you got to really be careful if you do get involved with this, because there could be a backlash. You got to be careful. I also feel like either way, it's coming out. But how intense it hits is another thing. If you get involved, it could be quite intense. But you could end up in this circle of retribution and end up... I realize you're probably feeling what goes around comes around, and it's time for them to get their go-around. But when you're a part of a circle, even though you feel like you're in the right now, it's a circle. It comes back around. It's just fair or not. I feel like this is a pattern. You might want to just think through whether you want to really be a part of this or not. Because I feel like you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about, somebody getting their just desserts. This is so weird for these cards to come through this way. I'm also feeling like you can step back and just watch it from the outside. I might recommend it. Now, this in the future, I feel like you're watching it and you're seeing it play out, and you're seeing things fall the way they need to. You're feeling like this is fair. So I feel like you're feeling pretty good about it. Now, this doesn't mean you're involved. It doesn't mean you're not involved. It means whatever way you choose, it's going to play out, and you're going to see that happen, and you're going to feel quite justified. You're going to feel like somebody got their just desserts. Okay. That being said, your final card is the Magician. Remember, the Judgment card is here. Based on what you chose, based on what you did, Judgment will either go for you or against you. I feel like if you stay completely out of it, you're going to have people like backing you and saying like, you know what, so-and-so did it to this person too. I mean, clearly that I feel like you're going to get like some support in some sense. Let's just put it that way. If there's something in the past that was not seen right, I feel like now it's set correctly. Okay. If you get involved, though, and you make it worse than it was, I feel like you might get blamed in some sense. And like this could be... I would be careful. Because if you get involved, it can easily backlash against you. And like, for some of you, I do feel like that person loses their job, but you might also have some problems in the same boat in some sense, especially if you work together. I highly recommend being very, very careful. Decide what you got to do. You got to make your own decision, but there's a lot of scattershot that's possible here. All right, so I think this part for singles, like I feel like it's like a retribution thing, even though it's love connected. Like it's warning you, be careful how you get involved, because there's a lot of energy connected with this, and if you sit back and just watch it play out, I feel like you'll be fine. I feel like it might be hard to do so, but I feel like it works out easiest for you that way, outcome-wise. Now, not to get because I feel like you really do want, if this is hitting for you, you want to get a little bit of retribution there, because somebody really did something to you that you feel is not fair, and they deserve what they get. If you get involved and you kind of amp up the volume there and make it worse than it originally was, even though they deserve it, like I'm still warning, you're in this circle, like it's a circle. What you put out comes back. Even though it was fair, you're continuing, like somebody did wrong to you, so now you're doing wrong to them in a sense. Not, even though it doesn't feel that way, it's like you're continuing this circle. I don't know how to explain that. Even though they deserve what they get, you're continuing, like you're participating in the circle. When you participate in the circle, it always comes around again. Like, right or wrong, the energy will come around, and you'll be in another situation. You'll be a part of another situation like that. I don't know how to explain it, because I know that a lot of you are going to feel like, well, it's not the same because they deserve this, and I don't doubt that they do. But as long as you participate in that loop, you're a part of the loop. I don't know. I'd step out if I was you. If you can step out of it, I would step out of it. That's all I'm saying. All right, I think that's what we got for single Taurus. All right, if you would like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.